Hi, Dave from Informed American here, asking the question to all of you: are we overcounting or undercounting COVID-19 cases? Got a story here out of Florida here, ABC7 WWSB, out of Sarasota. I think I mentioned a day or two ago that I've been hearing this, I don't want to call it a rumor, but suggestions that people were getting positive tests when they weren't getting tested. And that is actually confirmed now by a news story. Says, I got a call asking for me, and they told me that I had tested positive. I was like, positive for what? And then the lady said, for COVID. I said, that's impossible. I never got tested, ma'am. This is a woman who had gone to a drive-through testing site, but before she was able to get swabbed, she left the line because she realized it was for people with symptoms only. And so since she basically registered for it, didn't get the test, and she got a call saying she was positive. And I've heard a number of stories about this similar thing. And in this case, she was in the wrong line, but in other cases being like, well, the line's too long, or people are like, well, I don't want to stand in line with people who could potentially, if I'm not sure if I have it or not, if I don't have symptoms, or maybe if I just want to check for the antibody test, maybe I don't want to stand in line here for 2 hours with this large group of people who could have symptoms and then really could make sure, or increase my chances of actually getting sick, which, by the way, is, I found a funny quip on social media the other day saying this virus is so deadly that we have to stand stand in line for 2 hours to see if we have it, and I thought that was quite poignant. But as we see, but the point here is, and leading to this main topic today is, are we overcounting? We've seen a new surge in cases, particularly in places like Florida, Texas, California, Arizona. And is part of what's going on? Are we what's the incentive here? Are these companies getting reimbursed for positive tests? Is it just a simple mistake? But it certainly does seem to be a pattern. Of course, many cases are real, but just getting a lot of false positives here. So that's sort of the overcounting. Now, on the undercounting side, there's a story here out of statnews.com. Actual COVID-19 case count could be 6 to 24 times higher than official estimates, CDC study shows. This is something that I think we maybe touched on a couple of times. Certainly, if you saw my interview with Dr. Paul Zeitz, we discussed this topic, the idea of what's the true number of cases in the United States. And I believe his estimate was about 10 times. That would put us, right now, I believe cases are about just under 3 million, so that'd be about 30 million cases nationwide, or you can double that to 60, maybe 65, 70 million. So are we undercounting? And of course, this comes from the CDC. That their round number is about 10 times. Because you imagine, of course, not everyone who gets sick gets tested. And many people have had the virus and never even had any symptoms, so they would have no reason to get tested unless they were just curious. So I think we're somewhere. I mean, my guess is more to on the second. Just to say, I think we are probably undercounting it. But what matters most in terms of public perception of what's going on, and for health leaders, political leaders, people like that, it's more the trend, right? So it doesn't matter if it's 3 million or 30 million or 50 million, but what's going on up. Is it up or down? That kind of a thing. And certainly we're seeing a spike up. So these false positives that we're seeing could be contributing to some of this surge, when in reality, we were already kind of at that level before. Many of these people it's working its way through the population. So I'd love to know what you all think about this. And this goes back to kind of a main theme we've been hitting on the last couple of days, which is you don't know what to believe. The information out there is contradictory. It's one side says one thing, the other side says another thing. A great example is what's going on in Portland, Oregon, regarding what are being termed as peaceful protesters, and federal government agents going in and arresting some of the bad actors. I mean, that's just one example. Another example of not knowing what to believe. And here we are again. We don't even have any real idea of how many people actually have COVID-19. So I want to leave you with that and what you think. Are we undercounting or overcounting? And there's really no way to know for sure. Why? Because everything is fake. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.